Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. This is Andy kindly joining me. It is September 14th, 4:40 in the afternoon Eastern Time, 3:30 Central Time, where Andy is located. Andy, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Eastern time.
Interesting. So no, it's interesting. You said it was 4:40 your time, 3:30 my time. We're moving back and forth through time here.
Dyslexia.
Aliens. By the way, did you see that? So aliens exist. We saw that article earlier this week. They're real. You're a time traveler now. Apparently, you have that thing that they have in Harry Potter or whatever, where they can time travel.
I got too excited. For Tech Talk and overspoke myself.
You travel back or forth, travel somewhere in time and tell us where charts are going. Can you do that for us?
I wish I could. I mean, it sounds like actually today all three charts that we're going to do were requested by people outside of you and I. And the first one comes from our good friend Jimbo, who said you actually called Nov Soybeans to a T.
I don't know about that.
He says
Jimbo.
I went back and watched when you guys were talking about a bottom and bouncing off. It was going to be around that 13.32 mark. And if we look at yesterday, what did we have? 13.33 3/4.
Who knows? I don't know. I just look at charts as they are right now. I know you like to travel to and from time and stuff like that. You're coming and going in time. Who knows what's going on, what time you're in. But all right, so this is Nov Beans, courtesy of Jimbo. Thanks, Jimbo.
Shout out
to Jimbo and Grain Feed and all that good stuff. You can check out all that stuff on our channel. Get there. So I don't know. The thing that bothers me about this one is the clear failure to make a new high longer term, right? You get to 14.25 or whatever this high is, 33.5-ish. And it tried to get back, and it's not performing. So yeah, the two things here. So the clear failure to make a new high, but also too, you've recently had some a cross in the secondary stuff too. So right there,
yep,
right here. So this momentum cross from positive to negative, that is saying that over the last 12 sessions, is it 12? Yeah, 12 period momentum is telling you over the last 12 sessions that prices they're declining more at a rate than they were in earlier before. Right. So you see sometimes you see changes in momentum where even though we're rallying here, you're not here to if you go from here to here, the price really hasn't moved. Right. The actual underlying itself, it actually rallied, but the rate of change has slowed down, I guess is my point.
Mm-hmm.
And so now for it to be negative like that, that's a sign of weakness. To go from positive to negative, that's a sign of weakness. And then you also have a lower high, a failure to put in a new high, right? So it's not looking good.
We couldn't break through that 20-day moving average that we had been above for many trading sessions before then also.
Correct. So the momentum is certainly shifted towards the bears. You had a clear, a failure here, to your point. You weren't able to get above some of these moving averages. I guess the next step. So to me, it looks like it wants to go back and gets in we circled this guy right here, all this noise. That feels like the next stop for this chart. And if it gets through there at $13, it's this big magic number, it seems like. I don't think there was a close below $13, was there?
No.
No, sir.
Nope.
Not in all this mess. I think it goes back down there and tests all this noise. That's my thought, right? Because like I said, you've got a few things aligned. You have the chart playing out plus a secondary indicator telling you that. And the RSI is also trending lower, but still hasn't gotten into oversold territory. So it's got some room to break.
Right.
I don't know. It's not looking so rosy.
The RSI right now is just kind of moving a little bit sideways, don't you think?
I think you can make that argument, but when I look at it from here, from this point right here,
yep,
it's still trending lower. The momentum piece is, in my opinion, a lot more clear. Right? It's telling you that momentum has clearly shifted hands into the bears.
Right. Okay.
By the way, wasn't there a football game this past weekend?
Hey, I think I called that one also. Time travel.
Did you call that one?
Well, ask a few people in the office. They'll tell you.
All right, fair enough. Figured we threw the word bear out there. I figured I'd throw it out there for you. Maybe a little salty for some people. We'll see. This feels like it wants to go back down. And I think check out some of the Jimbo stuff, by the way, about grains and some of the fundamental data. I think beans breaking is a little bit counter to some of the fundamental stuff. Not to say it can't happen, but that's my opinion. I think this thing needs to come off a little bit still, but we'll see. We shall see. Next one.
This comes from our good friend Darlene from Kansas.
Darlene, you were singing the Jolene song earlier, weren't you?
It's a great song.
Give us a little rendition.
Maybe on another episode.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Maybe you want to sing now. You were singing earlier, and I don't want to sing. Fine. I drew this line, so forget about this one here for a second. Boop. See ya. Forget about this. Forget about that. This has been pretty long-term. What do you call it? This has been a long-term resistance. It's been a downtrend that the market's been, holding in, right? And when it tried to rally, the momentum failed here too. It's been sideways on all this junk right here. So that's not really giving you a whole lot of news. The only thing that sticks out to me here is that for the first time, you're seeing like a breakout of this, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, now it's actually maintaining over that breakout. So what it kind of reminded me of when I started thinking about it more was, so this is a monthly of corn, right? And so I know this is over a much greater period of time, but you had this big break and you tried to rally back a little bit, came back down, and then traded sideways for a while. I think we're getting ready to do that and then rally back, right? So if you look at it, it looks somewhat similar. So to me, I think this, we've broken, you tried to rally back, came back down, but now you're starting to inch yourself out of this downtrend. And I think if the longer we trade sideways, the psychology of it, I think it's going to start to creep in where it's like, hey, we just broke from $6 to 480 and we just keep trading sideways and we got out of this downtrend. Do I want to be selling it here after such a big break? And now we're not getting as much technical confirmation either. Obviously a lot can change with harvest. Have you guys started chopping? What's going on at the family dairy?
No, we've gotten a little bit too much rain the past week. I haven't really noticed anybody here in Michigan chopping very much. Just a little bit too much moisture going on. But like you said, once you get that confirmation of what's really happening out there, it's obviously going to change this chart one way or the other. But right now, I think if you're going to feed some of these, the bear side of things, you need to close a trade to 473 and a close below that. We've gotten to 473 multiple times since the middle of August and haven't been able to break through there. Even with the report yesterday, where was our low? 474 and a half. The day before, the low was 473 and a half. So you can't seem to break below that magical number at this point.
Yep, I agree. And the longer you trade sideways, of course I agree. It's the truth, right? So, but the longer you trade sideways, the more confirmation you get of this breakout, right? Can we call this a breakout? It technically is because it closed through it here and then it kind of cemented it today, right? It didn't come back down. But yeah, it's going to be if the longer we trade sideways here, I think the more prone this market is going to be to at least some sort of retracement, right? Because it's the market's basically, it has to go trade, to your point, below that 473 area. If it doesn't, and then, oh my gosh, I just did that. Look where a third of that retracement is.
Is that right above our favorite little
look at that, Richard.
Bullish gap?
Look at that, Richard.
All right.
Uh-oh. Yeah, to me, the risk reward here in Dec Corn, and let's make sure Billington, old Bilbo, knows too. I'm sure he's watching, and he'll want to have a commentary about Dec Corn. So I'm sure we'll have him on the show one day. We'll see how he does. But the risk reward here, I think is here. What's the last trade price? So 480-ish. If you're wrong, if we close below 473,
yes,
I think you can take a shot at trying to be a little long here, especially the longer we trade sideways. The longer we trade sideways, I think now you're building a base. Now this becomes that much more like a rally. There becomes that much more like the potential grows. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be a seller until you got that, to your point, that close below 473. I think you have to get that before you can start establishing, getting aggressively short there.
And again, we haven't been able to do that for trading around here the past month, at least.
Yeah. Sure. So, but I do think it's significant that we technically did break out of this downtrend. Can we get a few more days of consolidation to cement it? If so, then I think this gap, you got to start thinking about a potential retracement of this big move.
Right on.
We'll see. You're going to be out there just like, chopping corn and who knows, like, buying, selling, like, who knows what's going to be happening over there in Costa Dairy. All of it, all of the above. So last one comes from T-Bone.
Our good friend T-Bone from Southern California.
T-Bone.
Hey, T-Bone.
Look at this thing. I don't know. What do you think here?
I mean, this chart right here looks fairly extremely bullish, but how about a weekly chart of crude?
I love your fairly extremely.
I'm trying to keep it, nonchalant.
Nonchalant, fairly extremely. I mean, both of them look, I mean, they look somewhat similar, but they both look good.
Yeah.
Right? So the weekly had like a close. I mean, it tried to kind of consult, like, let's just blow this up here a little bit. There we go. Now we're cooking. So it tried to have this little retracement here, closing above all these moving averages. Momentum is clearly in the favor of the bulls here, right? And there's room to go too. I mean, this goes back to March 2022. So you've got some room here on the momentum piece, and you haven't crossed into overbought territory either. So there's like the technically you've got a great breakout on the weekly, plus the secondary stuff confirming it.
Would you call this a long-term swing? Like a long-term swing low on this?
I don't know about a long-term swing low. Where my head was starting to go was that's wave one. There's wave two. If we draw that same line, you normally want to add like 20-ish% onto the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So third wave is always the biggest. Is that $100?
It looks like $100 a barrel.
I think that's the next stop for that chart. I think it's a nice Elliott wave that's forming, and you've got some room to go to $100. I mean, let's do the same measurement here. Put us on the spot. This is the daily, right? So bam, you would take this, add 20-ish%. Let's go like that. Right from where it broke out from. So if you wanted to use the same, if this one falls a little bit short on the daily, this is decent. But the weekly, I don't know. The weekly's certainly acting like it wants to, like it's got some room. So I think either way, both charts are telling you that maybe I don't know. Both charts seem to be telling you that we got more upside. Like sometimes you see that, and like the daily charts are look bullish, but then the weeklies are kind of like they don't look as good, or maybe aren't telling you the same thing. These two seem to be telling you the same thing.
Coinciding bullish charts.
Coinciding.
What we like to call that.
This could be. I think Phil, by the way, put this in the dairy situation and outlook. The ability for the consumer to buy, discretionary income. Let's say we go to $100 a barrel, right? It makes it a little harder for people to be able to buy stuff at the store.
The gas tank is going to cost a little bit more to have to be filled up at that point.
Just a smidge more.
Just a smidge.
We'll see. I don't know, but that it's definitely like it's like the dollar. Things have that's really strengthened, but we're also seeing things like some of these bigger macro pictures starting to play a role here. And if crude goes to $100 a barrel, dude, how much is it going to cost to fill up your truck?
Dude, at that point,
name
for your truck, costs a lot. A what?
A name for your truck.
I don't.
You don't have a name for your truck?
I don't.
You could call it T-Bone.
I could call it T-Bone. I think I will now.
T-Bone. No?
I think it will.
Maybe. We could do all the viewers, what do you want Cody to name his truck?
Throw it up there. I think the interesting part is now we're reaching a broad audience. We've had 3 people email us this week: Chicago, Kansas, sunny Southern California, probably surfing, having a great time, enjoying
surfing, and then
watching TikTok. We are reaching the masses, and that's what we're trying to do. Have a good time, talk about charts, reach the masses, and we're doing it.
Going viral, I think is what they call it. So
big time.
Yeah, maybe we do that next. Maybe you grow your hair out, and then what do we want to name Cody's truck? We can win a prize or something like that.
Well, let's put a pin on that one. Hit it for the next episode.
We'll circle back.
On that one. All right, everybody. We appreciate you watching Tech Talk and our fantastic conversation that we don't have between charts. Until next time, that's going to do it for Cody and Andy. Please write in. Let us know what charts you want to see so we can do the same thing next week. But until then, have a great weekend, an even better week, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.